I hate many things in life, like prostitutes who don't take contactless, discovering cockfights aren't what I thought they were, and toilet paper when your finger slips through. Now I have to put the others in so they don't get jealous. But I now have another thing to add to that list. This loadout when you're on the receiving end of it. A loadout so hated, even Voldemort dare not name it, which is convenient because I can't think of a name either. So with lube liberally applied, cheeks puckered, and an impending prolapse awaiting, let's get straight into it. First of all, let's define what makes something hated. Generally, hatred comes from a place of negative associations. For example, when I see Father Christmas, I think back to when I was a child. I sat on his lap and told him I wanted a pony, and all he gave me was chlamydia. So now I hate ponies. In Battlefield 6, the negative association is centered more around unfair engagements and how it's always the shotgun that is responsible for your wife now having to sell tasteful images of her mud flaps to fund your anal reconstruction surgery. I guess you could just get a job, but semantics. Add to this the loadout I will soon provide you with, and you have a recipe for what Gandhi would call the mother of all hate wanks. A wank so full of hate that even Bob Ross couldn't call it a happy accident. He couldn't even beat the devil out of it. Keanu Reeves of Constantine fame can't even exorcise the demon that resides within your foreskin, for that demon is hate. So yeah, hated in Battlefield 6 context is that feeling of an unjust engagement. You were firing first, but you still got beaten. One shot and you're out. So with the new definition of hatred defined, let's get into the loadout. In this video, you'll see me using a variety of loadouts as I figure out the best way to make men want to become one with my internal organs. And because I'm a generous kind of guy who always comes second, I will provide you with the best class and gadgets too. Joke's on her, I already came while she was unconscious. First up, the gun. We'll be going with the M8 7A1 shotgun. It has a lower rate of fire at 94 rounds, but is more capable of one-shot kills at slightly longer distances. Now the first big question of this build, why is it acceptable to breastfeed in public, but when I rip that greedy bastard off and take a tit for a spin myself, I'm a monster? That's ageism. And we also need to consider buckshot versus slugs. As is the answer for what is the last thing you want to find crawling out of your love interest's eye, slugs. She may have been dead for some time. They just seem much more consistent for me. With slugs, you either hit or you don't. Whereas with the buckshot, some can hit, some might not. I don't like inconsistency. Inconsistency is like going to the bipolar brothel. One week it's a mediocre blowjob while we both cry, and the next week you realise your sat-nav is broken and you actually went to the psychiatric hospital. Explains the nurse outfits and straitjackets. I thought that was just a kink thing. You can also engage at longer ranges too. Next, we'll equip the lightened suppressor. This enables deep penetration. I'm winking now. Beyond the enemy line with less risk of being discovered. I'm rubbing my nipples now. And to be honest, that's pretty much the build. Everything else is default besides the sights, which you should be able to spend up to 15 points on. I'm playing footsie with an aubergine now. But if you have eyes to rival Amanda Seyfried or however the fuck it is pronounced, you could probably opt for the basic sights and a green laser, but I like to have a sight of some sort. By the way, I'm just saying, she has large eyes, not disfigured or anything. I'd let her pull my hair out, which would be pretty savage if I had alopecia. I have two of the most expensive attachments equipped here, so there has to be some compromise. You can't have it all, said the wholesome celebrity visiting dying children in Yemen. This means no grips, no laser, no torch, no nothing else other than the defaults. I found the benefits of having the suppressor and the slugs far outweighed any drawbacks of equipping alternatives, so do as I say, and we'll see about asking Granny to get you a new fleshlight this Christmas. We're running the 7-shelled tube, as you won't have time to reload should things get dicey, and whilst the angled grip would have been nice, I've already spent my money on lobbying the government to legalise dwarf ownership. So that's it for the shotgun build. Lightened suppressor, slugs, standard barrel, 7-shell tube, and a sight of your choosing. Just before we get into the best class, gadgets, and some play tips, I'd like to wholeheartedly invite you to join Sunny Dispo's Basement, our educational Discord server where I learnt the meaning of docking the other day, and it had nothing to do with boats. It's a penis thing. I also have YouTube memberships as a thing now if you want to support my legal fees as I battle to gain custody over someone else's children. Or not. I'm just happy that we're all here holding hands and spitting on each other. So wholesome. I also have Twitter now. All these links are down below. Anyway, what's the best class for this most hated build? Well, it was a toss-off between assault and support, but to the victor go the spoils of tossing off, and that victor was support. Why support, said the voice in my head? Well, better that voice than the other one that gave me the confidence to finally face my fear of public speaking. Admittedly, 10 alternative ways to abort an unwanted fetus that don't involve coat hangers might not have been the best starter topic. So why support? Well, with this loadout, we need to be ultra aggressive, like a genital rash. And one of the best ways to be aggressive is to take candy from a baby and give them a bong instead, and flanking. Now, flanking in Battlefield 6 is a bitch, mainly due to the map design that resulted from the devs' travels scouring the world for amazing and inspiring places of interest, all to bring us some next level map design. But they saw a dog turd on the way to the airport, and here we are. Anyway, that's another video. So to aid in achieving these flanks, smokes are essential to obscuring your path to the whack-a-mole-esque glory holes that is the enemy team. And whilst smokes are still class locked to support it will need to be. Next, let's take a look at some gadgets, like the Apple Watch, that can tell you when you're way past wank o'clock. Most important of the gadgets for this loadout is the supply pouch, which by the way, would be nice if it fucking worked occasionally when I apply it directly to my newly prolapsed anus. As mentioned, you're going to be Down syndrome petting small animals level of aggressive, so you will be taking damage on the regular. So having the ability to quickly heal is near essential for this loadout and playstyle. For the second gadget, you have two options really, the smoke launcher or the defibs. Because I have a maternal urge towards my team, I lactate at the sight of a down teammate, and so for me, I go with defibs and a breast pump. It may make more sense to go with the smoke launcher, but I have an unhealthy urge to please, resulting in me having swallowed things even your mother hasn't, so I go with defibs. She probably has. You of course have the main supply bag too, which is useful for replenishing your smokes. Then we have the smoke grenades equipped too. For the training paths, I'll be honest, they're both as boring as watching cum dry on a welcome to our school sign. I've read both of them, which is like 8 paragraphs, so if you want to tell me how proud of me you are in the comments, then I'd probably get at least a little wet. But the only beneficial perk of either is the logistics expert of the fire support path. Arguably everything else has little to no real advantage. So for a right fucking knee slapping, arse spanking, dick tickling shit and a giggle, let's go for the fire support path. Secondaries are your preference, but if you're not choosing the M44, I can only assume you're the kind of guy who got an erection when Andy got intimate with his fellow inmates in the Shawshank Redemption. And I think that's our loadout complete. So now, how to use it. And these tips kind of sound like some fucked up aftershave advert with Chris Hemsworth showing me how fuckable he is. All fucking talk and no coming on my face. Coward. So first up is be confident. They say the most attractive trait a man can have is confidence, but it's actually a 9-inch cock. Anyway, with this loadout, you've got to be bold. Any hesitation in your actions, whether it's movement, aim, or saying no when asked if you're gay, will result in your dad seeing just how gay you really are. I'd love to hear Thor read this. Maybe I'll get in touch with him. Sure, it may not work every time, but if you go in doubting yourself, she will peg you. Which leads on to the next point. You will probably die often. Pegging-related deaths have been on the increase ever since women got the vote. And I'm not saying they shouldn't be able to vote, just that my friend Barry can't walk now and has a permanent grin affixed to his face. That's just one of the side effects of aggressive play. If you go in all guns blazing, it is probable that you may get objects thrust inside you without consent, leading to your demise. On the flip side though, if it pays off big. and you now become Sheila, giver of grins and taker of lower body mobility. Bit unusual for an aftershave ad, I'll give you that, but I'd still buy it. Next, flank constantly. I've said it time and time again. I'll give you $50 and let you use me like a toilet if you tell me I'm a big boy and that you're proud of me. But will my mum listen? No. Also, flanking can cure world hunger. So if you want to help those hungry, malnourished children, don't give to these greedy charities. Just start flanking in Battlefield 6, and in no time at all, we'll be asked if we can spare some Ozempic this Christmas. But to really pull this loadout off, you will need to get deep in enemy territory and take them by surprise. Going in helmet first is a one-way ticket to Flavor Town, that flavor being your asshole. So flank often, get the jump on your enemies, and that's where this setup really comes into its own. Also not very aftershave ad-like. This next one is though. Smoke aggressively. Smoking will give you cancer, they say. Good point, but does anything make me look more fuckable besides a 9-inch cock? Maybe a cigar, which is kind of like sucking on a 9-inch cock if it was on fire and smelt like Cuba. But smokes are your friend in Battlefield 6, and you will want to use them liberally. Obscure your path on a flank. Cause maximum chaos on a contested point and just push through. Distract enemies while you take another route, and to look like an edgy and mysterious guy, which probably just means paedophile. Pretty sure I've seen smoking aftershave ads before. Normally followed by a man holding a woman's head like it's a bowling ball. The head is attached, I might add. Next, keep moving. Like Lightning McQueen once said, I am speed. And I think what he meant by this was that he was fast, but I can't find a way to make it mean he likes gear shifting because the gear stick is his penis. Anyway, he has a point. You're going to be right in the middle of it with this loadout, so staying still means almost certain death. Move from cover to cover, break lines of sight, and use smokes. Never stop moving, and you don't serve your ass to the enemy on a platter. I've seen running in aftershave ads, and then they normally jump off a building, but in a powerful way, not a I've just been fired and my wife says she's a lesbian way. Next, get close. Whilst we have slugs equipped, and you can technically fight at mid to long ranges too, this is not what this loadout is about. We want to be up close and personal. We want to be so far up their ass we can see the backs of their teeth. So far up their ass that together we resemble a centaur. We want to fight at close range because that is where we are unstoppable. When you take on any other weapon besides other shotguns at this range, even if you don't fire first, you will win. So stay close. If they fart, you want to be the first to know of its shot potential. That is warfare. I mean, I've definitely seen close in aftershave adverts. Some of them are borderline porn and make for a great masturbatory aid. It's not my fault they keep showing pre-movie ads at the cinema. And lastly, don't reload mid-fight. The reload time on this gun can be quite long, especially the lower your loaded ammo gets. So it's best to simply not reload until safe to do so. You've got to kick the habit of reloading after every kill, which admittedly is harder than giving up my addiction to chasing autistic children and shrieking my Velociraptor impression at them. I saw Velocipasta the other day. It was okay, but it's got nothing on the Beaster Bunny. Surprisingly, quite a lot of tits in that film, and I'm not just talking about the actors. Anyway, running the 7-shell tube gives you hopefully enough ammo to get in, get out, and shit your pants in a corner whilst you dump shells back in your tube, just like the children in my basement. If all else fails, switch to your secondary. Sure, you look more of a pussy, but Han Solo mainly used a pistol. Something Chewbacca sounds the way he sounds from extensive oral as a child. And there we have it, the most hated loadout in Battlefield 6. I think your local church would enjoy this video, so be sure to tell your local priest about it. Don't drink anything he gives you, particularly his semen. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, you too may be mentally ill. You therefore should like, comment, and subscribe. You'd also fit right in Sunny Dispo's basement Discord server, so come on in and find a comfortable pair of shackles, an appropriately labelled bucket for the fluids you wish to expel, and tell a fellow dweller that you prefer the extra thick, slightly savoury milk from the male cow. Links below. Also, if you want to help keep this channel dirtier than Bonnie Blue's bedsheets, you can support the channel through memberships and Patreon if you want. Just saying. I'd settle for some aggressive hand-holding. Link also below. Anyway, until next time, find a dwarf, pat him on the head and say, "You see, this is what happens when you don't eat your broccoli."